Chapter 80. Pass your heart burden over to the Father or to me. While reading my teachings, you will begin to feel their rightness depending upon the degree of the opening up of your soul. The more your soul is opened up, the more it desires the Father's leading from within, the more it will comprehend the rightness, certainty, and necessity of my words. And in contrast, the more it is oppressed, the more it is driven into a dark corner of mind that is dominated by selfish thoughts, the more it will be irritated by the light, truth, and love offered by my words. Since the absolute majority of men are not born of the Spirit, moreover, I shall tell you that those who have been born of the Spirit are scarce among the over 6 billion of you. Thus it is but natural that a very long and hard way awaits my teachings and those who will be carrying the Father's love and His light to you until they reach your pure souls, being kept in captivity by your dark mind by knocking on them. But be certain that your souls shall be delivered, even though you might resist it very persistently. But it is love and goodness that is the most powerful force, and it overcomes any resistance. There is no barrier that sooner or later would not be conquered by love. Therefore, a blossoming love in your liberated souls will change all your lives the way they desire once you sincerely open up to yourselves at the moments of your solitude and sincerity. It is only such souls elevated into free flight in their service to the Father and creation that will cease to seek a preference for themselves or for their own states and will take into consideration the interests of the whole world, of the whole of creation. Can a man be happy having lost the last source of making a living while there are the sick at home and there is nothing with which to pay for their treatment, when education costs so much and the source of income has disappeared, when the large family has already been hardly meeting both ends together and now there is altogether nowhere to take money from? And the danger is impending that the owner of the house will turn the family out for the debts. And all this happened after the company had gone bankrupt. A company's bankruptcy is nothing but the consequence of an unfair arrangement of its political economic life. You are happy about occupying new markets and being able to receive higher profits, but you totally neglect the fact that your conquering of the new markets has brought misfortune to other companies, which, being unable to withstand the competition with you, have gone bankrupt. And they have also had people working in them similar to those of you who have taken over their market. Do you think you are better and more worthy than they are merely because you possess more money, and due to this, you are considered erroneously to be powerful? The Father who is within you is also within each of those who have heard, because of your selfish desire to control as big a market as possible, to generate as big a profit as possible. That is already big now, and you have even been hurting the workers of your own company by stealing money from them, since you have not paid all the money they have earned. Therefore, due to your greediness, by setting such conditions that your minor competitors get ruined, and because of this, you are even striving for more, to expand your business even in another country. You go against the will of God, against the will of the Father, who loves you and all others in the same manner. You do not even comprehend this destructive step of yourselves, not only to others, but primarily to yourselves. And you do not comprehend it due to your living in the field of low vibrations and being influenced by the vibrations of evil, as if you were walking all the time at night and were afraid to know that there is still the other part of the day when the sun shines. You are afraid of the sunlight, and out of this fear you are trying to fawn upon the desires of your selfish and animal selves that have no end to their desires and that spring up one after another, since your environment also lives in exactly the same low vibrations. Therefore, you begin to compete among yourselves as to who earns more, who spends more, and in what way, who gives more parties, and of greater extravaganza. And all this is nothing but an attempt to run away from one's own self under the influence of fear in the darkness of the night. This is a trap set up by yourselves that sooner or later will exhaust you. All the same, and you will experience bitter consequences, even tragic consequences, and some of these poor fugitives are already experiencing them. By means of these teachings of mine, I'm addressing all without singling out any one of you, young or old, rich or poor, healthy or sick, and I speak out that irrespective of your position and inner state, you can still improve both of them by giving me your heavy and seeming insurmountable hardships, and you can remain free from such hard burdens that are now oppressing you. And you may do it by very sincerely passing your burden over to the Father or to me. The Father gladly takes over this burden, and it is not difficult, but rather pleasant for him to do, since the Father and I are one in spirit. And I do exactly that what the Father does. Therefore, I urge you to pass your pain and misfortune over to the Father or to me immediately, rather than put it off. All that which oppresses your heart as if with a stone within it, I urge you to move onto the shoulders of the Father or mine. We purport to carry the burden of each of you, that it would be easier for you to enjoy a free flight of your soul in serving all in the Father's love and truth. It is only after you give us your burden that you will feel lightness in your heart, in your soul, and then you will be able to give it completely different look upon the ambience. You will realize that you cannot take a bigger payment for your work than you would agree to pay some other worker for doing that same work. At the same time, you would also pay somebody else as much as you would agree to be paid while doing the work instead of that other worker. And that would be your first decision on setting up the heavenly kingdom in the sphere of economy.